Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. This is going to be SNS 138. So I've got some sad news to inform everybody this week. This past Friday, October the 7th, late night, I lost Stella. Most of you probably know who Stella is. Stella was my dog. She was my little boxer. I always called her Stella baby. And Stella was 12 years old, or just over 12 years old, really. I got her back in the summer of 2004, and she's been my best friend ever since then. She was the best dog that I ever had, and the best dog that I could have asked for. She was always so gentle and mild. She didn't jump on you, she didn't lick you, she didn't hardly ever bark, really. I don't think you ever heard her bark one time on a video. She was just a very sweet dog, and it's very unfortunate that I lost her. I was very sad about it. I'm still very sad about it. It was an emotional weekend for me this past weekend that it happened. And I'm just glad that I was here whenever she went. Like I said, it was late Friday night, and I was just getting ready to eat me some dinner, and she had walked in there. I was sitting down at my bar, and she had walked in there and just collapsed. She fell over, and I heard her as soon as she hit the floor. So I jumped down there in the floor and, started rubbing her and, trying to ask her what was wrong. What's wrong, Stella? And she started going into a coma, or not a coma, I don't know why I said that. She started going into a seizure. And the only thing I could do was just try to comfort her, and let her know that I was there, I was petting her, and I think she left me for a little bit right there. I could tell the way her body just kind of went limp, and she started breathing again. She came back. She kind of recovered from it, and it seemed like she was doing better. But she wouldn't move. She wouldn't stand up or anything like that. So I called right down the road here. There's a 24-hour veterinary emergency clinic, and I called them and told them what was going on, and they said, yeah, absolutely, bring her in there and we'll check her out, see if we can help her. So I put her in the truck, and we rode down there, and I brought her inside and told them who I was, what was going on, and they were very kind. They came around and they got her and they took her to the back, and it wasn't very long. They came back out. I was filling out the paperwork, and they come out and said that Stella's going into another seizure back there, and this is what they found out. She had some major heart problems going on, and they found some other complications with her too, and needed to know what I wanted to do, if things really went bad. So they went back there to her, and they came right back out and said that her heart had failed and she's gone. So all I can say is that I'm glad that I was here whenever she went. I'm glad that I was home and she didn't go through this episode alone. I was at work or gone. So I was really thankful that I was here with her and could comfort her. And I think she felt that too, that I was with her. And it was just a very sad thing, very unfortunate. You can't expect these things to happen. I knew that she was getting old. She was almost 12 and a half years old, so I knew it was coming sooner than later that she would have problems. And boxers do. They have problems genetically, and that heart problem is one of the issues that the veterinarians there told me about boxers. So she lived a long, happy life, and she made me very happy, and she was my best friend. And I'm going to miss her very much. And I know that you're going to miss her. She had a lot of fans all over the world. She was loved by so many people. It's just amazing. And I want to thank everybody that, poured out your condolences to me over this past weekend, because I had announced it over social media what had happened. She's going to be missed quite a bit. It's just me and her. It was just me and her here, and she wasn't just a dog. She was she was my family member. You know, she was like a daughter to me. She's truly a family member, and that's how I treated her, and I'm gonna miss her very much. So I decided to bring her home that night, and decided I wanted to put her in the front yard there. So they put her in a little coffin for me, and I buried her in the front yard underneath the tree there. She always liked to play in the front yard and lay out in the grass. She spent a lot of time out there, so that was a good place for her. And she was so close to me and has been with me so long. You know, I feel good about having her there whenever I walk out my door, and when I come home, I can see where she's at. So I just wanted to tell everybody about that, and thank you again for all the support that you've been giving me through this tough time. But we're going to prevail. We're going to move on. Her memories live on in my mind. We got a lot of good memories of Stella. I'm fortunate that I have some video of Stella, and I got some pictures there of Stella, and she's going to be greatly missed. So I really hate to inform you of the news, but that's what we've been dealing with this week. So I do have some content for you for this episode that we're going to go into. I've been trying to keep myself busy and my mind occupied. So we've got a new tool in the shop, and with this new tool, I wanted to do a slight modification to it so that it would be a little more user-friendly for me here in my shop and what I have to use it with. So I got some footage of that I'm going to share. I got a couple things down there on the table that I'd like to share with you. And real quick, we're going to do one more plug for the Shop Life t-shirt. This is for the Shop Life welder, the graphic tee that's got the print on the front of the shirt over at tblaster.com. Whenever you see this, they're going to be available for about 2 more days, and then it'll end. So be sure to check the link. I'll have it in the description box if you're interested. Go check that link out, and thank you everybody that's been making a t-shirt purchase, and thank you for your continued support. So let's go ahead and get to the rest of our footage for this week. I've got a small project that I want to do for this week's SNS. So to start with, we've got a new tool in the shop from our channel supporter, Edge Technologies. And this week what we're going to do is we're going to check out the tool post indicator. That is the tool post indicator from Edge. And by the way, we've got a new promo code for Edge. It's Edge Fall. And I'll throw that on the screen. You guys interested in any of their tooling, you can go over there to their website, put the promo code in, and you'll get 10% off. So we're going to check out this little tool post indicator right here. And the way that this is intended to be used is that you take one of your tool holders for your tool post, and you mount this in there just like you would a turning tool or anything like that. And you know, if you got enough tool holders, you can just leave this permanently mounted in there if you would like to. You can get it adjusted right on center the way it needs to be, and lock it in. So what I want to do with this is the shank on this for clamping it in your tool post is a 1/2 inch square. So that's great for a lot of different size tool posts. Now on mine, my multi-fix, this is the multi-fix type B, or I believe it was E3 from Inco. On these tool holders right here, the minimum shank that you can really hold without having to stack some blocks in there is a 3/4 shank. And that's usually what I put in there. Here's a turning tool right here. And you see, that's about how it lines up. So I'd like to demo this, and let's check it out and see how it works. But what I'd like to do is go ahead, instead of having to put this in there like that and put a block on it, it's not really all the way, it's only about halfway over on the clamp screw also. So what I'd like to do is take this one off. You just got 2 socket head bolts that hold it on there, and let's make a new shank for this and put it on. And I got a piece of 3/4 cold roll right here, just some square stock that we'll cut off, and we'll just make us a new shank to bolt on this. Very easy, just cut it and drill a couple holes for it. And then once we do that, let's go over to the lathe and see how it works. I will point out that this is a, let's see, 0 to 1/4 inch, and it's also 1/2 thousandths lines. So it's a pretty fine reading indicator, and you got a 1/4 inch of movement there. It's a nicely built unit. I like the way that they put it down in this anodized aluminum that they machine out. Yeah, it's a nice tool. Looks nice. So let's go make us a new shank for it and go indicate something. There's just a quick little shot of it, a little closer. I figured you might like to see it up close before we get started on it. So we got it. The tool holder is going to be about 3 inches long. I got a little bit long just to kind of square the ends up, make them look nice. Going to use the old Jefferson power hacksaw. I know it's dirty. I haven't cleaned it one time since I bought it and used it, but it still works good if you plug it in. Put a little bit of this anchor lube on it. That's the fire trucks. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch carbide end mill there to square up the ends. I was going to take it out, deburr it, we'll flip it around and do the other side. Alright, let's see about what we got to take off here. About a 1/16. 3 inches 65. So I'll just take half of it. We'll measure it, see what we got to take on the second half, because that ain't a square cut. All right, looks like what, about 28. And this ain't nothing critical here, just standard shop practices. All right, that should be good. Now what we'll do is just center it up and get us a couple holes drilled in it. Looks like we're pretty good right there. All right, that should be our location of our first hole there. And what I did was I went 1/2 inch from the edge, and then it's going to be a 2-inch center to center, and then just halfway of the square block there. All right, that looks right, 2 inches. That's a 1/4 inch stubby length drill bit that the stack house has given me. All right, so this is a counter boring tool made for these counter boring for cap head bolts or socket head bolts, whatever you want to call them. I've got my depth set. We're going to go a 1/2 inch deep. I've just got a stop set up here on the quill. And these kind of cutters here, I typically always run them a little slower than what you would run other cutters at, just because they're it ain't like replacing a drill bit, you know. I'm going to take a little bit better care of these. Use some lubricant there to keep things moving, and just feed it kind of gentle, don't overdo it. All right, there's our bottom. Wow. Talk about cutting it close, man. All right, coming back to my 0. That should line up right there. All right, we'll just do some hand deburring on these holes. Let's go test fit it. I'm gonna do some deburring. I'm gonna do some deburring with this tool right here. I like this one. It's like a countersink. You got 2 flutes on it, so you can make one turn like that right there and get the whole thing. All right, see, we're utilizing the original screws that come with it, so I counterbored them to a depth about like they had it. So we got 3/8 of thread sticking out there to go in here. We'll go ahead and get it started in one. It looks like my center distance worked out. Okay, there it is. On the original that they make, that they supply, this piece here, you know, I just left it centered like it is. I think what their intentions are is that the body of the holder right here actually squares it up on your tool post. On your tool post, the holder. Okay, I think that'll work right there. With it being square, it's automatically going to square it up on the back of the holder there, right there. Okay, all right, let's go see this thing work. So our work piece that we're going to use is this 5-inch chrome plated 1045 steel that I already made test cuts on in previous videos. I got my jaw set there, 5 inches. I believe we used this for the, we had an ISCAR tool that we were testing, that we were making some cuts on, that and the LNMX tool. So we're just going to keep using this, just a sacrificial piece of metal. I'm lucky that at work, you know, we have a lot of this kind of stuff, so every now and then I'll cut me off a piece and bring it home for this kind of stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and set up our indicator. All right, so what I'd like to do is just kind of, there's a couple ways we're going to do this right here. I'm going to unlock the tool height adjuster there. I'm going to gently bring this around. That's one thing that I know you're going to have to be careful with if you do this, is to not drop it in there like you normally would with a tool. Okay, so here we can just kind of use a center if you want and kind of bring it up the center. We'll leave it about there. And then what I'd like to do is come around here to some material. I know we haven't indicated yet, but we'll come around here and we'll check our tool height to see if it's on center. All right, that looked like about center point right there. Right about there will work. All right, I think we'll just come on down here and indicate right here on the 5-inch area. Got the camera a little bit close to my chuck wrench right here. I was trying to get you away from the glare. All right, so we're within a couple right there. I think that'll work. But what we're doing is we're just kind of looking to see, you know, how this tool will work in the shop, you know, everyday use. If this is something that we'd like to keep in a tool post here, or tool holder, and be able to just drop it in your tool post and come on up and, you know, and do your indicating with. So I think that's a pretty good little test of it. You know, it's a nice unit, nicely built, and I like it. So that's going to be it for the tool post indicator. But what I'd like to do now is check out that turning tool that Ken Pearson sent me. So let's set that up and make some test cuts on this steel. All right, so here's the tool that we're going to use. There's a good look at the insert. This has got a really sharp corner radius on it right there. Now, I've already tried to look this up once earlier today. I've been trying to figure out what that insert is. I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I still got more research to do, but maybe somebody can help me tell me exactly what insert that is. I know it's going to be probably a 400 series, a 4 series of insert, but I looked up these letters and numbers in my engineering book, and I cannot, these don't pan out to anything that's standardized in that book. So I'm not sure exactly what this is. I just haven't been able to find it yet. So if anybody wants to help me figure it out, you're welcome to. Other than that, I'll continue to mess with it. All right, Looks like we're good. We're on center. Okay. Go ahead and run our center up here. All right, so this Victor cannot handle the type of cuts that the Monarch will, so we're not going to be over here taking no 1/2 inch cuts. But what we are going to do is see what kind of chip control we get out of this insert. So let's find out. We'll start off kind of low, on the low end of the spectrum here. We're going to do like a normal, say, let's try a 10,000 feed rate. All right, that's 10.3 inches. This is running out because of the way I indicated it. I didn't indicate it in 2 places. You know, I just stuck the indicator up here and indicated it, but I don't really care because it's just a sacrificial piece. This is 100 thousandths. Let's see what she does. Well, I don't like that. I'm gonna make sure. I don't like that. That's stringy. This thing might have to have some hot feed. So let me go ahead and kick it up. That was B. We're going to go over to A7. Okay, a little better. Let's go ahead and see how far else we can. That's another 100 there. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's a 200 thousandths removal there, 100 per side. And that's a 14.3 thousandths per revolution. And it's making a nice chip. We're gonna go ahead and go up to that next step there and see what it does. Making some nice curlicues there. Well, I figured it was going to do better than that, but and not string up like that. Let me go up one. Go up one number on the feed. There we go. That's a nice looking chip there. So let's see what that was. Well, Ken, I hate to break it to you, but it looks like I already did. I thought I heard it snap. I hate that. I'm just gonna have to get some more inserts in here. I don't know. I didn't check it. I don't know if it was tight enough, so maybe I should do that real quick. Let me go ahead and check that thing. All right, so I checked the clamp bolt there on the side, and we've got it tight. It wasn't loose. So let's try this again. What I was going to do is take a 1/4 inch on the dial here. Yeah, that's a good looking cut right there. So that's kind of a free cutting insert, even though it's got a negative rake on it. had fun over here making some chips, you know, over here on the Victor especially. So, you know, as far as this tool goes, Ken, I appreciate you sending it to me, and I'm going to enjoy trying this out on some different materials. I would really like to try to figure out what this insert is so that I can get some more and have them here in the shop. I really hate that that thing snapped like that. The only thing I can think of is it wasn't seated in the tool properly whenever it came in and took that at first initial cut, that it came down and just landed on the bottom edge there and snapped it. But pretty cool. I like it. And then don't forget, you know, we got our tool post indicator here that we made our little mod on, and discount code again is EDGEFALL, your promo code for 10% off if you'd like to grab you one of these. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. So I found a couple goodies down at the flea market this weekend. Got some big end mills and some big drill bits and some big wrenches. I got a couple saw blades there for a recip saw. So, you know, this is, you know, this stuff right here, it's like, do I need it? No, I don't need it. When you're looking at it and the guy's just wanting to get it off his table, and he says, man, would you give me 30 bucks for all of it? It's kind of hard to walk away from it, because it is useful to, you know, guys like us. I may not be able to use this, or I might be able to use that on the K&T. These are 2.5 inch. I don't have a 2.5 inch end mill holder, but I believe I can get one, and I could probably use this, you know, say in the horizontal spindle of the K&T. Now I believe this one here and this one were never used. They still feel very sharp, even though they're rusty. I'm sure they were sitting in a box with water. They still feel very sharp on the edge and on the corner. This one's, I can tell it's been used. And the drill bits, these are all number 5 Morse taper shank. This one here is a number 4. Again, they were all just sitting in some water. And then I got these wrenches from the guy too. These are Williams super wrench. Yeah. This one is what was that? 2 3/16. I think this one's 1 7/8 and 1 7/16. So some decent buys. You like all these wrenches, I give them 30 bucks for those wrenches there. So that's what I scored this weekend, and what I've got planned that I would like to do with this stuff here is go ahead and use these and set up an electrolysis rust removal tank. So something I'm going to work on here real soon. I need to find some of the washing soda, and I already got a good battery charger, so I'd like to try that out on these and try some rust removal. All right, one more little thing that I'll show you that I picked up this weekend too is this Craftsman 12-inch bandsaw. Now I know that that's not really a metalworking bandsaw there. It's you know, woodworking, but that is a very desired saw from what I've seen, especially hobby guys, you know, hot rod guys in their garage, cutting up exhaust pipe and thin tubing and stuff like that. Put the right blade on there, a metal cutting blade, and you can use that for small cutting. So the opportunity came up. I got it for a good price. I didn't pay a whole lot of money for it, and it's a clean saw. It works good. I think I need to replace the belt on it. It's a little bit shaky whenever you turn it on and it starts up, but the belt's sitting there flopping around, and it doesn't feel good. So I think I need to replace the belt on it, give me a metal cutting blade, and we'll try it out and see if it's useful around here. If it's not, I'm sure I can turn that right back around and sell it on Craigslist. So, and it did come with this original this little clamp deal. You know, you could use it for holding something while you're sliding it across there. So I just thought I'd share, you know, always share the new additions to the shop, and get me a right blade for it, and we'll see how it cuts. So, all right, that was the scores from the weekend. Just wanted to share with you.